Mark Crumpton, thank you so very much. And of course, we will be standing by to hear President Bush's remarks on his veto of a bill that would extend funding for human embryonic stem cell research. Our guest on this will be William Caldwell. He's the CEO of Advanced Cell Technology. His biotech company researches treatments made from human embryonic stem cells. We'll get his reaction to the Bush plan and the veto. So, President Bush and Mr. Caldwell coming up next on The Economy. Stick around. Welcome back to Bloomberg's On the Economy. I'm Kathleen Hayes. Now, we just heard about President Bush and his veto of the latest stem cell research bill. We are going to wait to get some live coverage of that, but we don't want to wait to get the other side of the issue from the CEO of a biotech company that's using embryonic stem cells to develop a treatment for macular degeneration. This is William Caldwell, CEO of Advanced Cell Technology. Bill, welcome to the show. I'm glad you could come in.
Thank you for having me.
What do you think of President Bush's veto?
Well, I'm very disappointed. It's not unexpected, of course, but it's disappointing because it is clearly not the will of the American people, as demonstrated in both sides of Congress, having twice passed legislation that he has chosen to veto. It's just very disappointing.
How does it affect a company like yours? You're managing to go ahead. You're using a stem cell treatment for macular degeneration. President Bush could say, hey, Bill Caldwell's doing just fine. Yeah,
well, we are. We're doing just fine in spite of this. However, it's the issue of the will of the people really mandating the development of the science and the technology to a new level. And unfortunately, President Bush has determined that that's not going to be within his administration. So interestingly enough, the states have picked up where President Bush has basically halted the progress, and you've seen states like California last week, New Jersey, I think tomorrow the Massachusetts governor has got a forum going on to talk about his $1 billion that he's allocating towards embryonic stem cell research and biological research. So the states are really trying to pick up where the president has really, halted things for the time being.
In terms of the ethical worries, do you see any merit there?
Ethics has always been in challenging science throughout the decades and literally throughout the centuries. Science is really the here and now. The real ethical issue is to the extent that there is an opportunity to address incurable disease. The ethics dictate that we try and do that as best we can, and to the extent that that there are technologies out there that are not hindering the human condition, but only helping the human condition of the here and now, that's what we need to be addressing.
As I understand it, very simply, the president's vetoing this because it involves the destruction, he says, of human embryos. Hasn't your company found a way to take a cell from a human embryo, grow it next to an embryo, extract the stem cells, etc., and therefore not destroy the embryo? And is that possibly the ground where this can move forward?
Yes, and absolutely. In fact, one of our lead scientists in Australia at the International Stem Cells Conference announced the fact that we've developed a third line from that technology that you described. It's utilizing a technology that is used in IVF clinics called pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, where you extract a cell to determine whether that embryo has a disease. And what we do is divide that cell, allow the test to occur in one of the cells, and we develop a stem cell line in the other. And yes, it does address the president's concern. We're very excited about this technology, and we're using it today in our process to develop conditions for eradicating, hopefully, macular degeneration.
And I want to ask you about that, but then to come back to what you have done, to come back of the reprogramming of skin stem cells that is also being done. If that's possible, then why do we need, I'm President Bush, Bill, tell me why we need to use human embryos in the way that I say we shouldn't.
Well, first of all, reprogramming technologies are in a very infant area of development. We're very pleased to hear that the groups in the United States have replicated what the Japanese did over a year ago, but it is still a very early scientific project done in animals. We've learned in the past that technologies like this, for example, somatic cell nuclear transfer, which has been around for over a decade and was the science that developed the dolly, has yet to be proven in humans. So we have a long, long way before these types of technologies can burst onto the scene and hopefully help us. But we do have technologies today that can address the human condition, and that's what our company's all about.
Tell us about the macular degeneration treatment that you have developed using this stem cell method.
We have a cell called the retinal pigment epithelium cell, or RPE for most of us. That cell is located as a layer in the eye that basically feeds and filters the process of sight, if you will, for it, and when it deteriorates, it impacts the ability for the retina to function appropriately. And what we have developed is a replenishment of that layer, if you will, and that's what we're working on today. We're very excited about it. It's proven out in the efficacy trials that we've done so far, and we're moving forward, hopefully, to be able to take it to the FDA next year to work on humans.
Are we losing ground to other countries? We talk a lot about the competitiveness of the U.S. economy. Is this an area where we are falling behind?
The model that the United States has always had is that you develop the basic scientific research by using government programs out of the NIH. They fund the basic scientific research. Then venture capitalists and early stage what they call investor angels develop the science to the point where it can be utilized. And unfortunately, today that model doesn't work, and other countries are really moving ahead.
Bill, do you have time to stick around for us just a little bit longer? We're going to go to a break, and we're going to get the comments from President Bush.
Absolutely.
Very well. So stick around. President Bush, we hope to get his latest remarks on stem cell research. Bill Caldwell, the CEO of Advanced Cell Technology, is going to stay with us. You can see a live picture of the room where President Bush will be speaking shortly. Stick around. We are back with William Caldwell, the CEO of Advanced Cell Technology, a company that is developing treatments for a variety of illnesses using stem cells and various methods. We were just talking about how far the U.S. is potentially falling behind, and you were talking about the whole process of how money gets into things to develop. But which countries are spurting ahead, and what kind of, besides the very important human aspect of, curing diseases, what about the money aspect?
Yes. The countries that seem to have the most notoriety in terms of their development processes is the UK, Israel, Singapore. We're hearing quite a bit of work out of China.
Okay, and we're going to stop and listen to President Bush.
Science and technology. Our innovative spirit is making possible incredible advances in medicine that could save lives and cure diseases. America is also a nation founded on the principle that all human life is sacred. And our conscience calls us to pursue the possibilities of science in a manner that respects human dignity and upholds our moral values. I appreciate the fact that we're joined by a lot of folks who share the deep desire to advance science and at the same time uphold our moral values. I appreciate the fact that Mike Leavitt's here, Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. I want to thank the members of the United States Congress and Senate who've joined us. I thank you for taking your time to be here on this important announcement today. I'm joined on the stage by two good docs, really smart, capable people. Dr. Bill Hurlburt, Professor of Stanford University Medical Center, Dr. Don Landry, Professor, Columbia University Department of Medicine. Actually, he's the chairman of the department. The reason they're here is these are brilliant biologists who are seeking new ways to develop stem cell lines.
President Bush, as he is about to
violating
explain why he is vetoing a bill that would provide more funding for human embryonic stem cell research. We're going to monitor this as the headlines cross. We'll come back to that. But I want to ask Bill Caldwell to respond. The president just said life is sacred and looking for a way to advance research and uphold human values. Bill, what would you say to him on that score? How you do that at your company?
Well, I believe life is sacred, and we have millions of people that are facing the prospects of debilitating and life-threatening diseases today where we see no cures. And we have a technology platform that offers the very real possibility of addressing those issues. Life is sacred. We need to move the scientific process forward to see if we can address the disease for those people that are living and are suffering today.
Okay. Bill Caldwell, thank you so very much for joining us. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.